The danger zone is the comfort zone, and the comfort zone is the danger zone. What do I mean by that? Well, I got lucky enough to go on a couple of mission trips in my life, and the first one, as we were coming back, we were at the airport, uh, about to leave the country, and boy, that just kind of smacked the small band of people that were coming back, because we were sitting there thinking, I don't think I finished. I think I need to stay here. You'll feel that too when you go on a missions trip if you haven't already. Um, and when we were talking about coming back, we said it's not going to be the same. When we were on the missions trip, we had no control. We didn't know what was going to happen. It felt kind of dangerous because we weren't sure if we were going to use the wrong language or offend the people, end up in jail or hurt or something like that. But uh, we were the not knowing of what was going to happen left us in a place where we're going like, oh God, help, and literally, God, please help. That was a dangerous zone for us. We went to share the gospel. We went to share uh, with people that didn't talk quite like us, uh, or think quite like us, have the same culture as us. We went to share what uh, who God is and how to have a relationship with Him, and we did. And there was a fair amount of fruit, and we were able to lead a number of people to the Lord and share wisdom with some of the folks from that country, as they were kind enough to open up to us and share how they were doing personally, and we were able to bring a little bit of wisdom or God's thoughts there. Um, so at that airport, before we left, hanging out with a couple other guys, we were fairly young, so we were kind of like, cool, look what we did, right? Um, but I think I said, when we get back home, uh, that comfort zone is dangerous. And he said, yeah, the danger zone needs to be our comfort zone. And we're just bobbing up and down, going, yeah, that was a cool thing to say. But let's talk about what that means. In the book Renovation of the Heart by Dallas Willard, yay, backwards again, um, he shares a little bit about this danger zone and comfort zone business. This is a quote from him, talking about the Israelites in Jericho. He says, but this eternal kind of life is not a passive life. Passivity was for the Israelites, and it is for us one of the greatest dangers and difficulties of our spiritual existence. The land promised them was of incredible goodness, flowing with milk and honey, as it is repeatedly described, but it still had to be conquered by careful, persistent, and intelligent human action over a long period of time. In the beginning of the conquest of the Promised Land, the walls of Jericho fell down to make clear God's presence and power. Welcome to the kingdom. But that never happened again. The Israelites had to take the remaining cities through hand-to-hand warfare, though always still with divine assistance. So this danger zone we talk of is a life where we have to count on God. Met with a brother yesterday who had been in the war in Afghanistan. Talking about not knowing what's going to go on. He said one of the evenings, some of the Taliban who had been sneakily in warfare had obtained some of the American uh, uniforms and stuck into the camp at night. The Americans camp at night. The soldiers, our guys camp at night. They started shooting, and it probably was crazy like Gideon's army had gotten the enemy to beat each other up at night, to kill each other at night. So I can't imagine what that was like for him to have experienced that. But when he came back, he knows that there's a lot of soldiers who go through trauma and have that PTSD that they have to go through, and he wants to help them out. So he's dedicated his life to help them, first responders, actually anybody that comes in his life. And that is a life where you don't know what's going to happen next. You wake up one morning and you pray that God's armor over you and pray for opportunities to share the gospel, and there he gets them. Spends his day doing that. That can be dangerous because, first of all, it can be dangerous physically, but then when you recognize that you're spending every moment of the day to represent God and you want to do it right, you want to be representing him in such a manner as to where his maximum amount of glory flows into you and through you, so that you can be given them an exact representation of God that they need. And they may not be ready to respond if they've gone through trauma with a pleasantness. In fact, they may get mad at you for trying to take them out of their dangerous but comfortable zone. They've learned to manage it within, the little walls or parameters of their existence. They've learned to deal with the pain their way. And so you start messing with that, they could get physically angry, as some do, and then they could get verbally and emotionally angry as well, and it could maybe possibly misrepresent God, which is, for us believers, the last thing we want to do. But that's what he's dedicated his life to. So he's dedicated his life to danger, and so he's getting used to that. So he would say that this danger zone is his comfort zone, whereas many of the rest of us would not necessarily recognize it right away, but we have this comfortability where we don't necessarily see God in every moment. We had a brother who's a missionary in Guatemala come and share from the pulpit at our church. And basically he said, you guys are lazy, you're unfocused, you're just basically just living a life of comfort. And so in this case, the comfort zone was the danger zone. Because if our most important, if we're saved, if we're saved, we're grateful. If we're grateful, we want to just be with the one that we're grateful to. So if we say the danger zone needs to be our comfort zone, especially when our comfort zone makes our life so dangerously separate from God, that's where we're trying to help ourselves recognize. So the comfort zone, our comfort zone, daily comfort zone, is the danger zone. But we want to make the danger zone our comfort zone. Don't we?